Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do some more IELTS writing feedback. Again, we have an IELTS writing task 2 essay. So, as always, we start by checking out the question. So, let's have a look at this. Many museums and historical sites are mainly visited by tourists. So, who visits museums and historical sites mainly? Who visits museums and historical sites mainly? Well, the answer is tourists. Tourists are the people who mainly visit museums and historical sites, not local people. Not local people. Tourists mainly visit museums and historical sites, not local people. Okay. Why is this the case? Body paragraph 1. And what can be done to attract local people? Body paragraph 2. There is a mistake in the question because there should be a question mark here. So, okay. I know probably you think, why are you paraphrasing and repeating this question? Because so many candidates make the big mistake of not understanding the question or not reading the question or not dealing with the question fully. So what do we need here? We need an introduction. The introduction, I like introductions that have some background information about the subject. There should be some reference to this question, so some reference to the fact that tourists are the people who mostly visit museums and historical sites, not local people. And then we want to let the reader know what is going to be in this essay. So in this essay, we will discuss different reasons for why tourists, and I will also outline some solutions to attract more local people, something like this. A bit of background information about the subject, a reference to the question, and also a thesis statement, something that says what the essay will contain. Body paragraph 1, why is this the case? You should explain reasons why tourists, not local people, mainly visit historical sites. Body paragraph 2, you should offer solutions, offer ways of attracting local people. And then in the conclusion, just a summary of your main ideas, and maybe you'll add some extra details like a call to action or reasons why this will be useful or something like this, maybe an additional comment. But okay, let's take a look at the candidate's writing. So first of all, we just want to get a bit of an overview of it. How many paragraphs do we have? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we do have paragraphs. Cool. Word count looks a little bit long. We know that we should write about 250 words. How many does the candidate have? Well, the candidate has 350 words. So already, the first thing to notice before I read one word of the candidate's response, the first bit of feedback I will give this candidate is your writing is too long. We know we should write at least 250 words, fine. Your ceiling really should be 300. You really don't want to go above 300. If you go to 310, okay, fine. But you shouldn't go to 350. You have to learn how to write in a more concise way. And that's the first thing that you can do as a candidate here is get your word count to about 300 or maybe even slightly less. Okay, let's see if we get what I was looking for in our introduction. There is a fact that visiting museums and historical sites are more preferable. So what is more preferable here? I'm not sure. It's more preferable to tourists than to locals. So visiting museums and historical sites, this should be is. So both of these things, yeah, it's not that the sites are, it's that the fact is. So there's a small grammatical mistake there. There is a fact that visiting museums and historical sites is more preferable maybe for tourists. It's preferable for me. It's preferable to me. I think for is just slightly better than to locals. Cool. This is background information. Great. Fine. In my opinion, does this task ask you to give your opinion? Maybe. In my opinion, the root causes of this trend. The root causes of this trend are related to local people's familiarity and high end. So we don't need to explain the causes here. So in the introduction, the candidate is already starting to explain the causes. We don't need that. We just want something like, in this essay, I will look at different reasons why this happens, and I will also offer solutions to encourage more local people to visit these sites. We don't want an explanation. So you start explaining why the root causes of this trend are related to local people's familiarity and high entrance fee, and maybe the high entrance fee. And the solutions are, you just say that the solutions are, well, that's a little bit too forceful for an academic. Maybe some possible solutions are, not the solutions are. You're not a magician here who knows 100% that these are the solutions. The solutions that I will offer are implementing. Okay, again, you don't need to explain what the reasons are and what the solutions are in the introduction. That's why we use the body paragraphs. You only need to state what you are going to talk about. So, okay, you introduce the subject, you introduce the theme of the essay reasonably well. Grammar, vocab, mostly fine, but you try to do too much in your introduction. Okay, body paragraph 1. Why is this the case? So, let's find out. The fact that local people are not interested in visiting museums and historical sites is reasonable. We want reasons. We really want to start this body paragraph by, one reason why local people don't visit such places is blah, 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 and then talk about it. We don't want your opinion that it's reasonable here. We want you to outline the reasons, not to give your commentary on it. Okay, but then you do get into it. The first reason is that they are already familiar with those places. So those places relating to visiting related to museums and historical sites. So those places is good referencing. So that's good for our cohesion. Due to the long-term residents in their living areas, I don't like this. Due to the long-term residents in their living areas. Candidate is trying too hard to use complex language to explain something simple. Maybe because they've been living, or maybe local inhabitants are already very familiar with such places because they have been living in these places for a long time. So just sounds a little bit, I don't know, mechanical or a little bit unnatural. Due to the long-term residents in their living areas, local inhabitants, but okay, we get due to, and then we get, grammatically acceptable phrase that follows due to, fine, and this is good subordination, comma, local inhabitants have visited museums and historical sites in the areas. Which areas? It sounds strange. In their areas, maybe in their local area, or okay, fine, at least once, and have a deep understanding of events or stories related to them. Okay, so am I satisfied with the? Am I satisfied that I understand the candidate's first position? More or less, yes. The candidate, in simple terms, is saying, well, people who have been living in an area for a long time have already visited museums and historical sites once, and they already have a deep understanding of events and stories related to them. Cool. This can make them consider visiting those spots again as unnecessary. Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Additionally, good signposting language. Cool. Will we get reason number 2? The high entrance fee Again, the high entrance fee is just used. I want a post modifier here. So entrance fee, or fee is the main noun. Entrance fee to museums and historical sites, or to these places. So that would be useful here. Anyway, the high entrance fee is also an important reason. Yeah, not perfectly explained. Okay, will we get an explanation? Although charging an entry can enrich the state budget, I don't know if it enriches the state budget, does it? Maybe it contributes towards the state budget, or it helps raise money for public funds. But I don't really know if it enriches the state budget. Okay, charging an entry fee can enrich the state budget and help to maintain the museums and historical sites. This can be perceived as a luxury to locals, especially average and low income individuals. Okay, so I get the point, but maybe it can be explained in a better way. Something like additionally, the entrance fee to such places is often very large, or is often very high, and this puts off locals who may not have enough, who may not be able to afford the tickets or something like this. But okay, on the whole, I'm informed. I am informed. It's not worded perfectly, but on the whole, I'm informed. Okay, body paragraph 2, the solutions. What can be done to attract local people? How can we attract local people to historical sites and museums? Let's see. Therefore, I don't like starting a paragraph with therefore. So we want to move on now. We want a bit of signposting language to say one possible solution, or one way to attract local people is to da 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 da. Again, therefore, I firmly believe some possible solution should be taken. All of this is unnecessary. Just get into it. We don't need this. I believe that there are solutions. This is good. The first solution is, and you could just start your paragraph here. The first solution to this problem, or the first way to attract more locals. We don't need this. The first, and also this will help cut down on your word count too. The first solution is carrying promotional campaigns. I know what it means to carry promotional campaigns. You can carry out promotional campaigns, but carrying promotional campaigns is strange. Designated for local residents. Designated for, but okay, I don't know what this means, but hopefully the candidate will explain. Specifically, managers of museums and historical sites can issue membership cards to them. Them meaning local residents, I guess. Okay. Which offer benefits such as discounted admission, invitations to special events, and priority to access new programs. Okay, so the candidate solution is managers of museums should issue membership cards to local residents. So what we can forget about this promotional campaign, right? Forget about the promotional campaign. Let's just get straight into this. The first solution is for managers of museums to offer special membership cards to local residents. That would make more sense. I don't see that the promotional campaign is really connected to the issuing of membership cards. To me, those things are slightly disconnected. Okay, another approach, good signposting language. Candidates' cohesion is good. Another approach is that the government should collaborate with schools in the area, in the local area maybe, or just in the area, don't know why we have plural, to organise regular trips to museums and historical sites. Cool, I think that's a very fair solution. This not only helps students release stress after intense study hours. Our goal isn't to help students to release stress, and not release but relieve stress maybe. Or maybe release stress is okay. But we don't need to go into this. I understand you're talking about the benefits of this, why it would be good for the students, but the focus of the task is just to attract local people. So we don't want to talk about, oh, this will help students to relieve their stress. We don't need it. Our focus is on attracting local people to historical sites and museums. Okay, but also increases the number of local visitors, and that's what we should be focusing on, the number of local visitors. We don't care in this essay about releasing stress. Okay, but two very clear solutions, fine. Wonderful. In conclusion, I hold a firm belief that local residents' deep understanding and high price of entrance tickets of museums and historical sites are the main causes for the fact that those spots are not preferred by local, maybe preferred, just slightly wrong language, slightly wrong, are not preferred by local visitors, and solutions such as offering locals with special privileges and organising regular trips to historical locations for students in the areas should be taken into consideration by the government. Cool, grammatically accurate. So there's quite a long summary. I think the summary is just a little wordy. So something like, in conclusion, the main reasons why locals tend not to visit museums and historical sites are the entrance, the price of tickets, and local residents' deep understanding. Maybe that's about the same length. Let's see. Let's do a quick rewrite of this. In conclusion, the main reasons. Oh, we don't even need it. In conclusions, local residents do not visit, or rarely visit. Local residents rarely visit museums and local and historical sites, since they are already familiar with them, and such places can be too expensive. It's slightly shorter, isn't it? The main two ways to solve this problem include offering locals discounts and encouraging and maybe setting up school trips to such places for free, or something like that. That is shorter, isn't it? Yeah, it's much shorter. But then maybe some additional comment. Then we can add some opinion. This will, and now we have the extra comment. This will ensure that locals do not maybe underestimate the value. Maybe I'll change this slightly. This will ensure that locals just want to think of a nice way to word this. This will ensure that locals continue to appreciate the importance of their history and culture, something like that, right? So we get not just a recap, not just a summary of the position, but we also get this comment at the end there. This will ensure that locals continue. So we're explaining why it's important, or the benefits that this will have as an extra. The conclusion shouldn't just, it can be, but in general, conclusions shouldn't just be a summary of your main ideas. We want some other thing, either a call to action, a reflective comment, or something else, depending on the nature of the question. But okay, I'm going to just move this down. Sorry about that. So let's give some marks for this. So firstly, task response. I am informed. So I do see 2 reasons why local people don't visit these places, and I see 2 solutions. I don't think the solutions are always perfectly worded, but in general, I do get that. There are some things which are just a little bit strange, like the promotional campaign and issuing membership cards. I don't see those as being really connected. And so that's just one case where I think, well, the idea, I can't say I'm absolutely fully informed. I'd like to know more about how those things are connected. So task response, I think we can award a 7 for that. Coherence and cohesion. So the signposting language is good. We get good references. We get also another approach, cool. We get additionally, cool. We get the in conclusion at the end, all good stuff. Very basic, but good stuff. The 4 paragraphs, it's all set out in the right way. There are some strange bits of cohesion, especially between paragraphs. Like, I really don't like this starting the body paragraph 2 with a therefore. I also find it strange that in both body paragraphs they've just, the candidate has started not with a strong like topic sentence for the paragraph. The topic sentences are just a little bit weak, and so stylistically that affects for me the coherence and cohesion, not cohesions. But I think overall there is enough to award the 7 for this. Grammatical range and accuracy. Grammar is generally very solid. There aren't too many mistakes. There is like mistake with the verb to be, but it's isolated. A couple of mistakes with articles. A wide range, so we get some passive, not preferred by. We get this nice sentence type here, due to local inhabitants due to local inhabitants and we get this due to plus a very complex noun group, so that's nice. Okay, we get more subordination, although comma this can be so that's also good stuff with grammar. Anything else? Yeah, comma which, always like the comma which stuff. Okay, so in terms of grammar, I think we can also award the 7. A couple of mistakes with articles, a couple of mistakes with singular, plural, but in general, I think it's strong. And I think with the lexical resource, can we push it higher, or are we at a 7? Certainly, I don't think it's any lower than a 7. I think use of reasonable here, I just think that this sentence is a bit strange, so I don't think the word reasonable is necessarily problematic. Enrich is just not quite the right word, like contribute to the state budget is better, not enrich the state budget. Get some nice collocation, I firmly believe. Again, I'm not sure about stylistically if it's okay here, but fine. Carrying instead of carrying out, that's a bit of a problem. Release stress, I think relieve stress is more common, but okay, release stress. Heritages here is used as a plural noun, but we don't really use heritage in the plural. It's mostly a singular uncountable noun. So there are a couple of small mistakes with word choice, but I think overall there is enough for a 7. There is enough good language in there, which is topic specific, special privileges, entrance tickets, discounted admission, consider doing something. Okay, that's grammar. long-term residents. Yeah, there's definitely enough in there for a 7. So it seems boring to mark it this way, but I call it as I see it. And for me, candidate has 7 in each of these areas. So overall, it means the writing performance is 7.0, which is C1. Congratulations to this candidate. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that breakdown of the candidate's writing. Good performance, strong performance on the whole. What advice would I give the candidate? Maybe be careful with your introduction. You don't need to, if in this like causes and solutions, you need to say in the introduction what you're going to talk about, but you don't need to specify what those causes and solutions are. You can leave that to the body paragraph. Maybe for the conclusion also try to condense a short, snappy summary of your main ideas and then an additional comment on top of that. There could be a few different things that you add. Yeah, but overall, very strong. And if you'd like your own practice IELTS speaking test, or if you would like your own writing check, you can do this by joining my Telegram channel. Only have a few people in there. I think there are like 10 or 11 people in there at the moment, but this is the only way that I accept applications at the moment. So if you get in early, if you have applied and written to me before and you haven't got a response, then definitely get in touch through the Telegram channel, and I guess this week and next week you have a very high chance of getting this speaking test or writing check. But I'll leave it there for now. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and see you again soon. Bye bye.